Namaskar, Sat Sri Akal, Assalamu Alaikum, and a very good afternoon to all the Unity 101K listeners. मैं हूँ आपकी अंजलि. जी हाँ, don't get confused. Today is not Friday. आज है Thursday और मैं हूँ आपके community hours में 3 to 4 on Unity 101. As we are doing Unity, in Unity we are doing talking about the cancer awareness. This is our second community hour and we have our guest today, and one guest is known for a special name we have is Crazy Geeta. Ji haan, but today she's not crazy here because she's here today for our community hour for especially for skin cancer. So let's welcome Dr. Geeta Belgi, consulting dermatologist, Mohs surgeon, skin cancer lead for University Hospital Southampton, Dr. Laura Adam, consultant dermatologist, and Majula Rajamani, lead skin cancer nurse specialist on board. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you.
Hello, thank you, Anjali. This is Geeta here.
Yes, Geeta, Laura, and Majula, thank you so much for joining us. Just to give little background to all of you, as I said, this is our second community hour, and we are talking about cancer awareness. But today, the specialists are more for skin cancer. So we'll start with our first questions. Though I personally have so many questions in my mind because when I was talking to my friends, I'm coming to do this community hour. They gave me some questions to discuss, and I myself have some question. But we'll start with this very basic. When we started talking about what exactly skin cancer is and what are the most common type people should know about it.
This is Geeta. Hi, Laura.
Hello.
Hi, Majula.
Hello.
This is the most important question and the most difficult question to answer, Anjali, because that is whole of dermatology.
Yes.
You want me to summarize, or you want us to summarize dermatology in 2 sentences? It's going to be hard. But just to make it simple, what are different types of skin cancers? If we keep it really simple, we say they are classified into 2 main types. One is the melanoma type, which we always hear in the news. That's the deadly type of cancer, which forms only a small part of the skin cancers. But the most important is the non-melanoma skin cancers, which are classified into broadly. There are many types, but main ones are basal cell cancers and squamous cell cancers. Now, important, these cancers all arise from layers of the skin. The skin has got different layers. Everything we say is just the skin deep, but remember, skin has many layers. These are all cells in the upper layers of the skin. Basal cells form the basal cell cancers. Squamous cells form the squamous cancers. And
I'll stop you here. Why I stop you here? Because this is one thing, Geeta, I want to highlight when we are talking about. Do you have any simple language for these words which you're using for our listeners? Because we are not medical experts. Sometimes we get confused and they are not, they are big names.
Yeah.
So anything, I know it might be not, but if there is any reference.
No. So that's so because we are starting our conversation with what a type of cancers. So generally people know melanoma, basal cell, squamous cell. So melanoma and non-melanoma. And we just stop there and we will then talk in simple language what we are looking for. So that we'll move on. So I won't say anything more.
Okay, that's absolutely fine. Thank you. And my second question, and Laura, if you are happy to answer for this, is why skin cancer becoming more common nowadays?
I think that's such a good question. It's a big problem. We're seeing increasing amounts of skin cancer, both in melanoma and the non-melanoma cancers Geeta was talking about. I think one of the reasons is that actually until quite recently, people weren't aware of protecting themselves from the sun. Also, as people are living longer for more healthier, they have more time to develop skin cancers because we know they occur more often if you're older, you've had more years to be exposed to the sun or more years on this earth, you're more likely to get a skin cancer.
Okay, that's very unique answer actually. And very good to know about it. But that's very, very good to know because it is getting very difficult to understand sometime why they have got the skin cancer. So we'll come on that question also. So as you mentioned about the sun exposure, so I'll go to you then. Maybe if you can highlight this, is skin cancer is reason of because of sun exposure?
Yes,
It is?
majority of the skin cancers is caused by the sun exposure. Long time ago, 20, 30 years ago, people were not aware of this. We all used to love the sun, and there are sun worshippers. So most of the patients we see are people who have been exposed to the sun in their earlier years, maybe 20, 30 years ago, especially people from the services, people who have used the sunbeds, people who have a long exposure to the sun.
Okay, so I mean,
And,
is
and adding on to
yeah,
it,
please.
also, it's not just the sun exposure. Some people are genetically more prone to get cancers. So those people, that category is different. If genetically you had one cancer, one skin cancer, you probably, there are people who get multiple of them. So it is, a bit of it is genes as well. And also, if people are on medications that suppress their immune system, those people are more prone to get skin cancer. So there are other causes than just sunshine.
Okay,
I think
right.
that's really important to point out because, it's not that it's anyone's fault that they ever get a skin cancer. Some people it will just happen, and it's because of the interaction between the genes that you have and the environment that you've lived in.
Well, I've heard all three of you, but there's one question is just coming in my mind because when I came England first time, I start having a lot of rashes in my hand, because I used to travel a lot in bus during winter's time. And somebody told me don't sit near to the heater, which is in the buses and or in the radiators, because that can cause a skin issues and that can convert into skin cancer. Correct me if I'm right or wrong.
I think, Laura, that's more of a myth, I think, because sitting next to radiators isn't giving the same heat or the same sunlight of UVA, UVB, UVC, which is what causes the skin cancers. So I think that's probably incorrect
That's
because
right.
radiator heat can give you dry skin and can give you eczema, but not really skin cancer. So
Yeah.
please don't freeze yourself in the cold just
Yeah.
because the radiator heat is going to give you skin cancers.
See, this
Definitely
is
not.
also the one of the reason we are conducting this community hour, especially for the different cancer, because Geeta, there are so many myths are there, and people live with this myth. And thank you to all of you to coming, so we can talk about these myths also. So now, Geeta, I'll come to you. Can you explain the ABCD rule of checking moles at home?
Okay, so basically, before you start checking moles at home, what we haven't said is, so we are talking, so ABCDE rule applies for the melanoma type of cancer,
Melanoma, okay.
which is the most dangerous type of cancer. And so that can arise from a mole that is already there or a mole that appears suddenly in a people who are more than 35, 40 years old, and suddenly you see a new mole appearing. As you get older, you don't get new moles. So it is arising from either a pre-existing mole or a new mole or a new pigmented spot if we don't want to use the word mole. So when it comes to A, B, C, D, E, which we teach all our patients when they come here, A means asymmetry. So if you look at a mole, मैं बीच बीच में हिंदी भी बोल सकती हूँ if you
Go
want.
for it, yeah.
So if you look at a mole, it should be symmetrical. So that means if you divide the mole into half, Anjali, I'm showing it to you. You divide it into half, the right half and the left half, whether you divide it vertically or longitudinally, whichever way, one half should look the same as the other half. But if it looks different, that is asymmetry. Okay?
Okay.
B is borders. So when you look at a mole, it should have regular borders. So if it has jagged borders, irregular borders, there's something not right.
Do you know, I normally say to my patients, if it's looking like the Isle of Wight, that's a problem because it's
I know,
looking like
well,
that jaggedy
I
coastline.
don't know what Isle of Wight looks like, but if it looks like a map of Europe, then maybe yes.
That's an issue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we
So
talking about
that
the
is-
needle beach?
Okay, so that is A, B. So C is for colors. So normally mole should be one color. If
Okay.
you see multiple colors, a bit of black, a bit of brown, a bit of white, and a bit of red, so kind of multitude of colors, there's something not right. That means the mole
Right.
is changing. So that's A, B, C, D. D is for diameter. So generally we say anything more than 6 millimeters. Any mole above 6 isn't a dodgy mole, but a mole that has these features and is more than 6 millimeters,
It's a dangerous.
it is, then it is obviously you're looking for something. But that's not the golden rule. So we pick up melanomas less than 6, but this is kind of scientifically written, so we just follow it, or we tell our patients. A, B, C, D, E is for a evolving or a changing mole. So if something is changing, something is not right. If you see a mole that looks different from the rest of the moles, the key golden rule is get it checked.
Okay, great. So, guys, uh, jokes apart, ABCD is one Bollywood film, but just take a reference from there. And when you are thinking, you are suspicion like having something in your skin, new mole, please follow this ABCD. Thank you, Geeta. It's a knowledge for me also. And when should someone be concerned about a moleskin? As you said, if they found this ABCDE, so they should be concerned about it.
So if they notice something is not right, A is asymmetry, B is borders are irregular, colors irregular, it's a changing mole, then they should contact the GP. And so the GP knows what they're looking for. The GPs are very knowledgeable. They know something is not right. They will send you to us in the dermatology department. They get fast tracked, so they get seen very quickly. So that's how they will get seen very quickly. So it is called as a 2-week wait skin cancer pathway. So if the GP is worried, you get seen by the hospital within few weeks.
Okay, that's good. Okay, that GP, yes, I think the first door is GP. Then only they will reach to your team.
Yes.
And they will be in the right hands to. And let's
So,
move. Yeah.
Anjali, before you move on, so we always talk of only one cancer. That forms only 10%. 90% cancers are different type of skin cancer.
Yes.
So I think Laura wants to make a point that everybody knows about it.
Yes, please, Laura.
So the interesting thing about this is we've talked about melanoma cancer and the other skin cancers we call non-melanoma cancers. And the non-melanoma cancers are actually the most common cancers in the whole of the UK, but they don't get reported on in statistics because fortunately most of them don't kill anyone. But a small proportion can spread through the body, and they can cause discomfort and require removal to avoid forming ulcers or bleeding. So it's useful to be aware of them as well. They're much more common if you have less pigment in your skin. If you've got more deeply pigmented skin, it doesn't mean you can't get them, but it's much less likely. And what I recommend people look out for is a lump or a bump, particularly one that's growing quickly, doubling in size over 3 months, for example, particularly one that is tender. That should be checked with your GP as well. And the other thing to watch out for is the much slower, milder kind of skin cancer. Sometimes they're called rodent ulcers or BCCs. And for those, what you look out for is a wound that just won't heal. If it sort of heals a bit, crusts over and opens out again, and it hasn't healed within 3 months, but it's not painful, then get that checked with your GP as well.
Wow. Is itching?
Generally
I'm
not.
asking all the questions,
Itching is a really soft sign and doesn't tend to mean a lot one way or another. But if you've noticed a change in something that was stable before, now it's itchy and painful and red, that's a reason to get it checked as well.
That is a great information. And that's very surprising. You said these cancers are not like dangerous. Nobody will die with that. But then it can create a problem in the lifestyle, isn't it?
That's right. I think to be accurate, the mild kind, the rodent ulcers, almost never spread anywhere else and no one dies.
Okay.
The slightly more aggressive kind that grow faster and are painful, 95% of them never spread anywhere else. 5% can. So it is still worth checking them out. Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Laura. That's really, really important information. I'll come to you, Majula. Now, my next segment is about whenever, Geeta, we are from Indian community and we talk about in Asian, and whenever anything happening right now with any sense of cancer or any other health issues, the focus is always on Asian community because of the dark skins, either it's diabetes or any other, problems. But then before we start talking, you guys gave me another shock actually when you told about the specific, skin cancer. It happened to darker skin. That was my understanding. Yes, if it is a darker skin, but then you give a light on this, Majula. Who are in more dangerous for the skin cancer?
We see patients who are more fairer, very less darker toned patients who come with skin cancers.
Right.
Dr. Belgi can elaborate on that.
Yeah, so skin, so just to give everybody an idea, skin is different type. The lighter skin is called type 1 skin, and you can, as the skin tones get darker, it is up to type 6 skin. So Asian communities type 3, type 4, type 5, something like that.
Okay.
Afro-Caribbean communities type 6, and obviously very fair people, Irish people, Scottish people, they're type 1, and most of the Caucasian people are type 1, type 2. So skin cancers are definitely more common in lighter skin, less common in darker skin. But what I don't want people to think is darker skin don't
Don't
get
get
cancer.
it. Yes.
They can still get it. So that's very important message that they can still get it, which means everything that we've said is true. If you notice anything you're worried about, you would get it checked. The important thing for Asian community and people with darker skin types is that it gets picked up late because people think ये तो थोड़ा सा क्योंकि हमें तो कैंसर होते ही नहीं है. So if they start thinking like that, that's where the myth begins that no, we can still get them and we are still seeing them. We see them less, but we still see them. And in darker skin types, you see them more on palms, soles, hidden parts, because we're not these. This is in the literature, and this is what we see. You get more. So today we saw few Asian people with pigmented nails. Now nails also. So palm, soles, nails, and private parts you can get there. So it's in the hidden parts you get for people with darker skin type. So
Yeah, that can be.
yeah.
There's one question actually somebody have sent from our community, and the reason me raising that question right now because Geeta, you just said having a small bowls and boil. What do you call in English? Yeah,
Boils,
boils.
yeah.
Yeah, मैं हमेशा confused होती हूँ. The boils in the private part. One of our common person, you also know that person, has asked me this asked question for you actually, Geeta, is because they are getting this again and again. Every 6 months they have new coming and then the pus is there and somehow they are scared because they have been going to GP. GP said it's just normal, maybe you have infection or something like that. But then obviously research can be that. So can you highlight it?
Yeah, so that's less likely to be cancer,
okay.
if that's the question they're trying to ask.
Yes.
Less likely or unlikely, but
Okay.
obviously I haven't examined them. There are a lot of inflammatory conditions. So this sounds like an inflammatory condition that can be long standing and requires an input. If the GPs aren't doing enough to help, then they should ask for a referral to the hospital. And we can obviously treat these conditions, but very unlikely that we're
Sure.
talking of cancer. So I hope
That's
they're
good.
reassured with that.
Yeah, absolutely. But sometime in your mind, you're thinking, "Oh, I've got cancer because of this, small things happening." Yeah.
I was going to say, I think the reassuring thing is if you've got a lump that comes up and goes away again, that's almost never going to be a cancer. If you've got a lump that comes up and keeps growing, that's when you need to really worry.
That's right. Thank you so much. That's really important. And now protection. Definitely, I don't use sun cream. This is my
Oh,
18 years in
oh,
in
that's a bad example, Anjali.
That's why I'm saying it. I'm your example. You can tell me. I don't know. I feel very uncomfortable with sun cream, but yes, my children, I force them to put on. My husband, they all does. So
That's called hypocrisy. You're not using it yourself.
I don't know. It's maybe my skin. I get rashes, I'll be honest, after using. And maybe that's why I will come to some skin specialist because whenever I use sun cream, I start having rashes. And I have to take medicine for that. But that's not important right now. The important part is my next question is what is the correct way to use sun cream and what is the SPF should people use?
No. Anjali, your question is, should we use sunscreen? That
Should
is
we?
your question.
Yes.
Because you have to say, I'm not using sunscreen. Should we use sunscreen?
Should we use sun cream?
So this is you're talking of darker skin types, right? Because fairer skin types, they all use sun cream.
they
They're
do.
all very good.
Absolutely.
So we're talking of people with darker skin types. And I think, Laura, you'll agree with me. It is again a myth. People think they don't need sunscreens because we have pigment in our skin. So pigment protects us and that's why we get less skin cancers. But if I can get this across to you, Anjali, that if you put sunscreen, you're preventing photo aging of your skin and you're staying younger because you're protecting your skin. Now, that is it. She's taking her sunscreen out from her bag now because she knows
I'm going
that
to
she
buy.
should. Yeah.
I think
So that's important. And Laura, what else did you want to
I was
add?
going to say I think that's true for me as well. I don't want to get skin cancer, but honestly, it's vanity partly as well. I personally wear sun cream on all exposed areas from March until October on a daily basis,
Okay.
and I recommend that to my patients as well to keep them
Irrespective
safe.
of skin type.
Irrespective of skin type. I
Makes
think
sense.
pigment in the skin gives you maximum of SPF of 2 compared to an SPF of 30 plus that you can get in a sun cream. So it's definitely worthwhile putting it on.
Look, with two dermatologists telling you the same thing. Sun
My
cream is going
grocery
to be
list
out.
has definitely increasing my sun cream today. So definitely you're saying it is very important. as you said, you're using during October time also, so which is fine. And besides sunscreen, is there any other way to protect the skin?
Yes, especially if you're out and about in the sun, then what we advise is if people use hats, they can use hats or an umbrella, a parasol to prevent the sun on your head, on your neck, on your face, because these are the common parts which get burnt. Some of the Asian communities are fair-skinned as well. So again, protection with sun protection, using cotton, long-sleeved or things that cover your skin, we would advise. And then, of course, getting your skin looked at quite frequently to see if there's any new molds
Okay, that's good.
look suspicious.
And goggles as well. So
Goggles,
glares are
yeah.
important because you protect your eyes. Remember, you get skin cancers in the eyes as well.
Oh, is it? Wow, that's the new information. Thank you, Geeta. So, I think when we starting this community hour, there was one thing was going in my mind, and now my next segment about that only, regarding the diagnosing any kind of how we find like what do you call we were talking about like breast cancer have screening, sorry. So what about for skin cancer, how we diagnose? I like there's any way of doing it, some equipment, some treatment that way, how you do it?
Okay, so Laura and me will share this one because I think, people, things like breast cancer, prostate cancer, bowel cancer, there are screening programs. For skin cancer, there is a self-screening. We teach everybody who comes to us. I mean, our department has 5,000 waiting to be seen, not cancer patients, but generally.
Okay.
We tell everybody it's not possible to see everyone. So there is no, NHS doesn't offer any skin screening program for cancers. We always aim to do it. We always have huge plans. We want to do it. But you can imagine, skin is the largest organ in our body.
Absolutely.
And we have to see everybody in the population, every person, because it is the largest organ. Breast cancer comes later on, few people, but here we are talking of just everyone. So physically and practically it is not possible. So what we suggest is, as we said, new lumps or bumps, new sores, not clearing, changing molds. You go to your doctor. Your doctor will never take a risk. They are very knowledgeable. We have aim to teach our GPs hugely, and very proud that most of our GPs are very good. They'll pick up something that doesn't look fine, they don't take risk. Even if they think it's okay, they're not sure, they will still send the patient to us. So our screening happens when you come through our doors in the hospital. Of course, Laura will want to add something.
Yeah, I think I'm going to add, in terms of screening, the great thing about the skin is that generally you can see what's going on. So if you have a breast cancer or a prostate cancer, those are inside the body, and so it's great there are screening programs available for that, but actually everyone can see what's happening on their skin. So I think that really helps. As you say, it would be lovely if we could screen everyone. Programs are always costed against how much you can pick up usefully versus the cost, and currently you can't fund them. But if everyone is able to have a look at the skin themselves, if you can't see your back, then get a family member or a friend to take a picture of your back and then take another picture in a few months' time. That's a great way of checking if anything's changing or evolving there.
It's called the buddy system, Anjali. So we always say buddy system. You have a partner, you have a friend, you have a husband. So you check my back, I check my back. You check my back and I'll check your back. It's like you scratch my back, I scratch your back.
Your back. Yeah.
So same way, backs you can't see, but the rest of the body you can see. It's an organ that is visible.
Yes.
So if you pick up something that is not right, you would always go to your doctor.
Yeah. No, that's really good to know. And one thing actually was and the question, I just saw one word here and that gave me another question, but I'll go with this one first. Are tanning beds safer than natural sunlight?
Oh my God. No. Oh my God.
No.
That's opening a can of worms. So Laura also adds, so we all are part of British Association of Dermatologists. And we are working very hard. So I say this very loudly. We're working very hard to ban the tanning beds throughout the country. They are that bad.
Oh.
So, Laura, you want to add anything more? I get very passionate when I start talking about it.
I think the thing is, tanning beds, you get tanned because you're exposed to ultraviolet light or UV light. Ultraviolet light is the same stuff that we know causes the mutations in your skin that give you skin cancer. So you're
Wow.
going to get some sunlight because it's good to get a bit of sunlight because you need it for your mental health and your vitamin D as long as you're protecting yourself, with the measures we've talked about. But to go and sit yourself under an ultraviolet lamp for an extended period of time is really not a good idea for your skin. And you'll catch up. It will catch up in
Who's
a few years.
invented this?
So, and you will not believe it, still so many people use them. Still.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So, all the community hours listeners today, I wanted to say this information is very important. I wanted to say again who we are today and what we are doing because we are halfway. So, we have our guest today, Dr. Geeta Belgi, consultant dermatologist, Mohs surgeon, skin cancer lead for University Hospital in Southampton, Dr. Rora Adam, consultant dermatologist, and Majula Rajamani, lead cancer nurse specialist today on our community hours. And मैं हूँ आपकी अंजलि. I'm your Anjali today. We are talking more about skin cancer today, and thank you to all of you. You have addressed so many valuable and important questions today. Actually, not for everyone, for me also, where I'm going to buy sunscreen for sure. So I think we have talked about how we can do the screening at home. We can do that, and what is good and what is bad, sun cream, how much sun. But then another question which Geeta you just I think touched somewhere, because as you have said, most of the places where the sun is coming on our face or body, any area, even eyes, can get affected for the skin cancer. But is there any areas which is not directly, like maybe a private part, as you did mention, can also have a skin cancer? Because there is one thing which I can say, sometime we wear tight clothes, and nowadays for slimming world, I have seen that where literally somebody have sent me a message saying it, take this rubbish black bag and put it in your skin tight for 6 hours and you will reduce some
Oh
weight.
my God. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Not that I have tried it, but
And I was like, what? So can you please light on this questions to me? Is there areas where which sun is not directly there, or we are doing this treatment with our skin to get slimmer, can affect for skin cancer?
I think maybe shall I talk a bit about this because I'm interested in vulval dermatology, and I think that's what you're asking about.
Yes,
So yes, cancers can occur on the vulva and on men's genitals just as well. It's rarer in those areas, and they're probably not being caused by sunlight because most people are not getting sunlight on those areas.
well, you would hope so.
You would hope. You never know.
Yeah.
Wrapping yourself in a tight bin bag or wearing tight underwear and tight trousers is not going to increase your risk of cancer but it probably is going to increase your risk of skin rashes, yeast infections and all of that. So it's not a good idea for other reasons.
Other reasons, yeah.
But it might be a good idea, particularly for ladies who don't see down there very well, to think about once in a while getting a mirror and having a look. Because if you're familiar with how you normally look, you'll spot if something changes. And that's
Yeah.
when you should get to check up.
That's right. Absolutely. Thank you so much. And the myth is going away a lot today. So I think,
So Anjali,
yeah.
that's Laura's specialty is the vulval area. So that's where she's brought in that. But remember, palm, soles, nails, and inside the mouth you can't see. They're not all parts that are sun related. So again, genetically, these are parts that can still get skin cancers.
Yeah.
So just that we need to check everywhere.
Yeah, I see some one of the non-person has a fungus on their nails, and they've been thinking it's just because my nail got burned, so I had this, and after that they got to know they have they have a cancer in their nails.
Exactly. So,
So,
everything is important. You get it
Amazing.
checked.
Good. I think there are many things we have covered today, and practical advice also you had given to our listeners. But I think let's come back because you've been working, as you said, you're part of different organization in England. I think it is very important to highlight. Yes, we know what we need to do when we are thinking we have some scratch or mole or anything lump in our body. But where if GP is got the appointment, but we are not getting appointment to see the dermatologist for many reasons in NHS, but then there is any charities, any other way to signposting the listeners who can at least go and talk to the consultant, anything like that? Can somebody highlight on that part?
I'm going to let Majula do that because she knows. But most important before we go there is that, there may be long waiting lists in dermatology, as in many other departments. The cancer ward is not neglected, so you
Okay.
get seen within 2 weeks.
Right.
So it's called suspected cancer pathway. So I want everybody to have that message. If you think there's something not right and your GP thinks the same, there's a separate pathway. So you're not waiting for 18 months and 12 months or whatever for that. You get seen very, very quickly.
Okay.
And if we diagnose cancer, the most important thing is it is most of the time picked up early, it is treatable. So what is important, it is treatable. So for all skin cancers, whichever type it is, there may be many ways to do the process, but it is to cut it out. So the most important thing is it is treatable because we can see it, we can cut it out, and we can repair it, which is obviously if it's on the face, we do big repairs. If it's on the body, everything can be cut out and repaired. Of course, if it's melanoma, there are more stages to the treatment, but it is treatable. It is treatable.
Skin
So,
cancer.
yeah.
So I mean, just another question. What is the percentage rate of death with skin cancer? I don't know.
So again, different because they're different types. With the non-melanoma types that Laura was talking about, the excision is 100% foolproof as long as we have picked it up in time.
On the time, yeah.
It has not spread to the glands. So it does happen that it spreads, but that's when people have manifested late. And then we are talking of the melanoma type of cancer. Again, in the life, you had asked this question to me when you came from India over here, that we would say little hope with a melanoma once it has spread. But now there is so much hope because we are a big center where we have so many drugs to treat it. And Majula works in the department all the time with the oncologists. So it is fantastic what we can offer. Of course, the idea is to always pick it up early so that we can offer these treatments and we can cure people.
Yeah.
And then your support groups come because once we've diagnosed cancer, then that's the word cancer makes you fall apart. And then of course we require the cancer nurse specialists because they offer invaluable support to our patients.
That's good. Majula ji.
So the important bit to stress here is if listeners are finding that they have a mole that's changing or a suspicious looking mole, they do have to go to the GP and get it looked at. The GPs will take a photo or they'll contact the dermatology department and refer in the 2-week pathway. Once they're seen in dermatology and then the dermatologists decide what the next treatment path is, they may do a biopsy or they may do an excision, and then we wait for the results. Once we get the results, we know what kind of cancer it is. So at the time of giving the diagnosis to the patients, what we do is 20, 30 years ago, the system was not in place. But now we have the cancer nursing support team. So we are a team of nurses who are qualified to see these patients for their
that's good.
diagnosis.
That's a good
And we have support workers along with us to support these patients. So once the patient is told that they have a particular kind of cancer, it's not just with skin cancer, it could be with any cancers.
cancer, yes.
But every specialty has a team of nurses who support these patients. So when we give them the diagnosis, we give them our contact details. We will be the single point of contact. We give them an email address because now people are all used to working and emailing us, and we pick up all those emails and support the patients throughout their journey. Sometimes patients may be referred to other specialities, and we follow them through as well. If they have treatments like oncology medications, we follow them through. So right from the time of diagnosis till they get discharged or till we see them right all through the pathway. When patients are given this diagnosis and they're told you have cancer, a lot of questions come to the person. So once the consultants have given the diagnosis, then we spend about 30, 45 or 60 minutes with every patient who's given the diagnosis, and we are there to support them. So sometimes patients say, oh, is this going to affect my job? Is it I'm the breadwinner of the family. Would I stop working? What would I do? What about my kids? What about my family? And all these questions, because it's the C word, it's cancer. And so we as a team support them. Sometimes these cancers can just be removed and then we just keep them on surveillance, and sometimes we have to refer them for further treatment. There are lots of charities which help support these patients, because if they're out of job or if they can't go to work because of a particular cancer, we have the Macmillan Cancer
Macmillan,
Support
yeah.
Team, and we give them the contact details for them. We have got leaflets which we hand to the patient. We also have another charity which is at the general, and it is called as Maggie's, and we
yes,
give them the contact details. It's a wonderful charity as well. If patients are struggling for transport, we direct them to the local voluntary services, and if all this sometimes patients come to us saying they have problems paying their mortgage because of being diagnosed with cancer,
yeah.
then we direct them to the Citizens Advice Bureau. So we've got different contact details and support services which we can direct them to. So it's not the end when you've been given the diagnosis of cancer, and that's what I would like to stress.
So this information, like you said about you have a department of nurses who can talk. So this information can be gathered from the GP?
No, this is the patients have to be diagnosed first.
Yes, after
Yes.
diagnosed, will their skin be signposting directly through
No, through us. So when
through
we
dermatologists?
so
Okay.
when we see them,
Yeah.
then we involve them,
Okay,
and then they
good.
guide them.
Yeah, right. So there will be a proper process to follow
Yeah.
every layers, how to go and where to go. But thank you so much. That's really important. Yes, I heard about Maggie charity and Macmillan, and they are very good in that. But thank you. This I had no idea about this nurse department which is involved to
That's
this.
why it's so important. They're so supportive.
Yeah.
Patients find so much relief when they see a face that can actually spend time with them. I have to say, we have limited time. We still try to do our best, but they are the real people.
They are the real people. Absolutely. Thank you so much for having you on board for everyone, not only for skin cancer, and you can talk to for any other cancer. Okay, so I think from the skin cancer point of view, we are almost, my questions are done. But there are two more questions going on in my mind, is because we live in a world of technology now, and everybody's their own doctor through this social media information and Google, and nowadays so many reels comes on Insta and Facebook or other places where people follow for, especially for any treatment. Okay, Geeta, we talk about it, like take this remedy, now home remedies, especially from Asian.
Like buying tying your bin bag.
Bin bag, yes. And in India or in any other Asian community, Geeta, you will definitely agree on me. There's so many ingredients in our kitchen, which people thinks, okay, apply this will fix. Apply that, this will fix. Make the mask of this. And when we talk about skin things, and these are very common, for the face, like, okay, shall I admit?
Haldi.
Haldi. Now, shall I admit this? And that's the reason sometimes I said, why need a sun cream? I can use this. Okay, I'm the guilty one. But yes, I don't want other to be thinking that way. And I want to correct them like you correct me today. So please just highlight on this, because of course some people follow that.
You mean the home remedies, whether they
Yes,
should.
especially for skin.
Yeah, so Anjali, that's a separate invite, I'm telling you. So that we can talk on it endlessly.
Yeah.
Because
Just highlight.
there's so many remedies which, people see all over social media. So whatever I say, people are not going to accept this as word of, a dermatologist. What I tell my patients is, I work in a lot of private sector as well, and people ask for home remedies and what should they use for your skin.
Yeah.
The least amount you use, the better it is, because you don't know what is going to irritate your skin.
Absolutely.
When you're younger, probably your skin can take a lot more as you get older. And you say, I used to use so many products, nothing happened to me. Now why all this is happening? And it is because your skin can only take so much.
Yeah.
So let it breathe, let it stay healthy. So do not use too many products because they cause more harm than good. Use sun creams, turmeric. It's a haldi is turmeric, by the way, Laura. And
Gram
Majula.
flour as well.
So gram flour, haldi. These things are known in kind of our old, what do you say?
Generation to
Generation to generation. turmeric can't cause any harm to the skin because, in our wedding ceremonies, Laura, we have, it's called a haldi function. One of the functions is to put turmeric on the
Yellow.
bride and the groom because
Right.
it gives a glow to the skin. So I
Yeah.
can't say it is going to be harmful to our skin because it is made from pure turmeric. It comes in little, it grows as shoots, isn't
Shoots,
it?
Yeah,
And
roots.
roots, shoots, right English, right words. So that you ground and you make it. Of course, if you add additives to it, then it becomes dangerous
Yeah.
because you've added other chemicals to it. But otherwise, it can't really do us any harm. But people use loads of things, and I
Yeah.
don't know how good those things are. So I'm a huge follower. I don't know I have good skin or not, but some of my Caucasian patients, they say, what do you use on your skin? It looks good. It's like, oh my God, I didn't know that it looks good. But the least amount you use, the better it is. That's my personal
Absolutely.
opinion,
Yeah.
not written in any books.
Thank you so much because, yes, people get carried away because they get convinced with the videos out there on the social media.
And I think I'd like to say if people are looking for a source on the internet that's reliable for advice, the British Association of Dermatologists website has advice for patients on it as well, and it has lots of information leaflets about lots of different skin conditions that are very sensibly written and easy to understand. So that's a good place to look if you're wanting to have a look online. If you type in, sorry for the long name, but British Association of Dermatologists, because if you type in the
Well,
short,
the
it's
other one,
BAD.
it's called
Yeah.
the BAD,
Yeah.
the British Association of Dermatologists. The BAD.
The bad,
Yes.
okay.
My family calls it the BAD.
But they are good. Good. Actually, I don't know why. The second question is the last question from my side, which comes from the social media point of view. One of my friend in India has taken some kind of drip for whitening her skin, and then she caused a skin cancer later on. So that's why I was, what do you? And it is not, and it has written when she told me about it, I literally searched that on Google, and it has written it's not good. It can give you different problem in your body. So, as a dermatologist, do you can highlight on this
So I'm going
point?
to say something, Laura. Do you want to start and then maybe?
I think I'll probably need to hand over to you because I have heard of these things, but haven't come across them in practice.
Sure. So if I was to think about it, if people know Michael Jackson, yeah. So Michael Jackson, if we give an example, Michael Jackson caused. I love Michael Jackson. The movie's coming out. I'm going to go and watch it.
Ah, can't wait.
So, but Michael Jackson, it seems, used something to because he had vitiligo.
Yes.
Vitiligo is white patches. But when you have quite an extensive disease, in people with darker skin, it is very distressing.
Yeah.
So he wanted to make himself completely white.
Right. Yes.
So there are products that are banned in this country which you
Yes.
can use for complete whitening. So which is fine, which is probably what your friend used.
Yes.
Not fine, but I'm just saying. So when you have complete white skin, i.e., you have made it white, you've got rid of the pigment that you had. There you go. UVA, UVB, UVC are all going to have a go at you. That skin is hugely prone to cancers because you have taken away the. So remember, if we have pigmented skin, the good thing about our pigmented skin is, sorry Laura, taking you out of it, you don't have pigmented skin. So people who have pigmented skin, we have pigment to protect us. So we are not sun cancer free, skin cancer free, but we are having pigment to protect us.
Yeah.
If you get rid of pigment, you've got rid of the protection. You are as prone to get cancers, or even more than people with very light skin.
Yeah.
So you made yourself prone to it.
Yeah. Oh, that's answered my question, and I think that's what we started in the beginning also. Great. I mean, I've learned so much today from all of you. But as we are, I think we are going to finish 10 minutes early. But then, anything last you want to say to our listeners from any important information, some tagline, some hashtag, any information which can be valuable for this skin cancer or anything from the dermatology point of view also.
I'm sure we can say, Laura, you can say what people should look out for.
Yeah, so just the headline says, if you've got a growing, painful lump or bump, you need to check that with your GP. If you have a wound that's just not healing over a couple of months, check that with your GP. And if you have a new mole after the age of 35, or a mole that's changing in shape, size or colour, check that with your GP.
Lovely. Thank you,
Great.
Laura. So if you've checked all that with your GP, you found something is worrying, suspicious, Your GP will send you to us, to the dermatologist. We will get rid of what looks dodgy and keep what doesn't look dodgy. And the important thing is, if you are darker skin type, pigmented skin type, remember you are not free from the word skin cancer. You can still get it.
Still get it. Yeah.
As Anjali will start using sun cream from tonight, she will wear the sun cream when she sleeps. I'm not
buying
saying
it.
that, but use sun cream where you can. Avoid in summer months, avoid sun from 11 to 4 o'clock. They say that's the strongest rays, so avoid being in direct sunshine at that time. Use umbrellas, use sun creams, use glares, and use long sleeves, so you're protecting yourself from the sun, you're protecting yourself from aging, and you're protecting yourself from cancers.
Aging
Skin
is very
cancers.
important, huh? I will, no, everything is important. Thank you so much for Geeta. And from you,
What I would like to say is don't get frightened or worried about the word cancer, because we are in this age now where there's lots of treatments and lots of support which is available for people out there.
thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much to Dr. Geeta, Dr. Laura, and our amazing Majula ji. Right, Majula?
Ah,
Right. Okay,
Anjali.
great. Thank you. So this is our community hour for today. I'm your host in Dos Anjali. We'll catch you for another community hour maybe soon in May. But if you want to listen this again and you missed it and join now, we have listen again on our website. You can go and listen again full episode of this community hour. Thank you so much, and we'll see you soon then. Thank you. Bye bye.